Welcome to the FAQ podcast, frequently asked questions with Fuzzy and Quincy. Subscribe to us right now, FAQ on YouTube, FAQ on Instagram. And guess what? If you would like to subscribe, if you would like to advertise, all you have to do is email us, fuzzyandq@gmail.com. Ooh. Today, this young lady, she's a queen of media. She's humble. She won't say that to you, but she's a master at her craft. She's worked in radio. She's worked on MTV. She's done Entertainment Tonight, just all these different places. Everyone loves her everywhere she goes. She's the same person on and off camera. We're going to talk about her new venture, Wordaful, but right now we have the Liz Hernandez right here. What's up, Liz?
Amazing. That was a great introduction. Even though I worked at Access Hollywood.
I was about to say, was it Access Hollywood? I was like, well, you know, whatever. MTV. You did work at MTV.
MTV.
You worked in radio, right?
Yeah, I worked in radio.
You worked at E-News, right?
Yeah, I was just having to, fact check.
Nah, but if you say one, you say them all.
Yeah, well, that's what I'm saying. It's like, where'd you work? Power 102, whatever. It doesn't matter.
Radio.
Yeah, radio.
We just say media, though.
Yeah, she's a media queen.
Yeah. No, thank you. That was a beautiful introduction.
Did you go to school for that?
Yeah, sort of. I went for school for psychology. Communication was my minor. But then I started doing internships.
See how that blends out?
Yeah. My first internship with communications was in radio.
Wow. And we got to say this. We know Liz. Like, Liz is our friend. She's like our sister. Not even like we know intimate details that we're not going to talk about here on.
You've showered in my shower, Q.
I have.
Damn.
I have.
Separately.
Separately, though. Yeah, it's like a window. It says sun. Never mind. Yes, I have. So we're really close.
What? So somebody can fly over and look at you showering?
Yeah.
Wow, that's kinky.
Yeah. No, it's a vibe.
Okay.
But it wasn't. I've never showered in the same time that Liz
almost sound like
I'm just saying we're that good of friends. Like, you can come to the house and shower.
Yeah.
Yeah, but it almost sounded like it was a together friendship.
It would never.
If that was the case, I would have said, Q, we've showered together.
Yeah.
But I didn't say it that way.
That's all good.
Yeah. So
what she does like she can scrub her back, though. You know what I'm saying?
Have you
trust her to scrub her back?
Have you ever scrubbed her back? Have you ever scrubbed her back?
Yeah.
Scrubbed her back?
Have you ever scrubbed
the loofah and scrub somebody's
I may
back?
have washed her back. I don't know if I've scrubbed her back.
Come on, we gotta keep her in her Wordaful
scratch
bag, dog. We can't do that with Liz. Listen, she's evolved, she's grown. We can't go back.
This is grown Liz.
Because that's the clip.
Listen.
And then she's gonna call us like, hey guys, can you not put the part when we talked about scrubbing backs?
Yeah.
I'm grateful, but I'm still hood.
Yes. All right, Liz, where do we start with you? Did you always want to do media?
I didn't know I wanted to do media. It's so crazy because when I was in high school, I got asked to do radio liners. Like, I went.
Really?
Basically, I pulled up. You know how you do parking lot contests? And there was the local radio station in a Target parking lot saying, hey, come by and sing for concert tickets. I think it was for like Santana. And so we went, and me and my girlfriend sang like Oye Como Va or some song, and we ended up winning tickets. You had to go to the station to pick them up. Went down there, and they're like, oh, while you're here, can you do some listener liners?
Oh, okay.
And so,
hey, this is Liz from Riverside.
Yeah, this is Liz from Riverside, da-da-da-da. And I said at the time, I was like, this is Elizabeth from Riverside. And I listened to, it was 99.1 KGGI, my hometown radio station. And I knew that it was like,
It felt fun.
It felt fun. Like, oh, this is amazing. And I grew up, you know how we say like you're a P1, like your first dial is set to your favorite radio station?
Yeah.
I grew up just so invested in my hometown radio station because it was so close, and then it was like Kiss FM and all the local LA stations. But I consumed radio. I was obsessed with it as a kid, and it's so crazy. When I was in 7th grade, I took my sister's dual cassette player, and I don't even know where I got this microphone from. I plugged in a microphone and I taped over Hollywood Hamilton's interview with New Kids on the Block, and I put my voice instead. And then I dubbed that tape and like slinged them at school, like handed them out. And was like, because I thought it was funny, not because I was like, I want to be a radio personality.
Yeah.
And then, you go
I
on
never knew that.
That's crazy. Did you tell New Kids on the Block when you interviewed them later on?
No.
Because you definitely interviewed New Kids.
Yeah, it was crazy. I did actually. I interviewed them like an American Idol. But
Yeah, she just stunted hard.
That was
no, I was just.
I was just when I was at American
No,
Idol.
I don't say it like that.
kidding.
It's
You know
like
I'm kidding.
everything is like a time and place where you kind of
Right,
like
we get
have
it.
you remember certain things. This guy's trying to make me sound all crazy.
no. It's,
That's dope though.
we get that a lot, so we get it. Oh, we understand.
Yeah. So, but like, did you remember that moment? Like, yo, I did this dub, and now I'm
Actually talking to him.
Yeah.
I didn't connect the dots until later in life. Yeah, of course. In that moment, I was more of just excited that I'm talking to the guys that I grew up
Listening to.
I had posters of them on my wall.
Right.
Yeah.
And yeah, it's just crazy. But just connecting like the dots of radio, it's kind of like one of those things where you look back and you're like, man, was this my destiny or fate? Because I've loved this since I was a kid. I was on Power 106 when I was in 7th grade.
Doing what?
I called up to win American Music Awards, and Jay Thomas was the radio personality at the time. And he answered the phone, and he's like, caller 10 or whatever caller number. And I was like, oh my God, oh my God, oh my God. And I said, did I win? And he's like, baby, how old are you? And I said, I don't know, I was like 11, 12. He's like, no, you got to be 18 to win. And I was so bummed. But that, oh my God, oh my God, oh my God, he looped it and would play it all the time on Power.
Really?
Yes.
What?
So there's
We have
just
similar
all these
stories.
little things that happened when I was younger that just makes you question, was I meant to
Be on radio.
be on
And
radio?
My Power 106 story was I called in, Arrest Development was at the radio station interviewing with Morales. And I wanted to call in so I can be their sound man.
Wow. How
So-
old were you?
I was like 18, right? So I called him like, I want to talk to Speech. I just want to see if they got a sound man. That was my hustle, like to get next to the artists I like. So they go, win a trip to Arsenio Hall to see him perform in a limo and have dinner with him. And then they picked up and said, what's your name? I said, my name's Fuzzy. I want to talk to Speech. All right, cool. Your caller so-and-so. Then they had put up somebody else, and they're like, all right, Speech, you pick. He's like, what about that dude Fuzzy?
What?
So I won tickets. I wasn't calling to win tickets.
Yeah.
So that's my Power 106 connection, was like, I actually won tickets to hang out with Arrest Development, went to Arsenio Hall with him and all that shit.
That's crazy.
And end up working at Power 106
Yeah.
later, like bananas.
Yeah, no, I mean, I think every person in radio has won a contest. Like I won.
Yeah, for sure.
The countdown was like Doo-Doo Brown. I won, and Golden Boy was like, "You're taking me too fast, son." I was like, "No, come on, I'm calling him." And I won Snoop Dogg's Doggy Style.
Oh, yeah, you said you had the CD.
And my dad, it was a tape. My dad took it, and then he gave it to me like, "Oh, you won." I'm like, "Oh my gosh!" And then I won, and then my dad heard what Snoop was saying, and he was like, "Nah, he took the tape back." And I was like, had the Underground Railroad like listening to
Listen
it.
to it on the low.
So yeah, you knew not.
I was just obsessed with it. Like
Yeah.
I was that kid that my mom would have to be like, "Okay, it's time for dinner. Get out of your room." And
Really?
me and Cece, my best friends since
Shout out to
fourth,
Cece.
we would, when I would go hang out at her house, all we would do was listen to the radio to try to win contests. And
See how radio and Cece end up marrying somebody at the radio station.
to
and what's
Armin.
crazy is Cece actually won tickets to see New Kids on the Block,
Ah, that's
and
crazy.
we sat front row at their
What?
concert because she won them off the radio. Crazy.
Oh, so it's sad, right? Like we have this connection. Kids will never have that connection
No.
anymore, right? Like they don't even listen to the radio and
You just stream stuff now.
yeah, it's just
Well, before social media, before social media, your only connection to know what was happening in the world with your favorite artist, with the music you loved, was radio.
Yeah.
You had no other connection. You really didn't, unless you were waiting for like Big Bopper magazine to like flip through and see what was happening on somebody's tour.
That's a
But
wrap now.
yeah. Did you when did you know? All right, you knew. All right, okay, I may want to do this radio, or I'm obsessed. When was the opening for TV? Like, I think I want to do that too.
As you evolved.
Yeah, well, once I landed at Power, I think I was there maybe 2-3 years, and I got a call from ABC Family. This woman called, and she said, we have someone here. She wants to take a meeting with you, and would you be open to it? And I said, yeah, absolutely. Her name was Brooke Bowman. So I roll up at ABC Family, and I walk into this woman's office. It's huge. It's just all windows. She's like on the 17th floor. And she sat me down, and she says, I listened to you on Power. She says, who represents you? And mind you, at the time, I'm probably 24, 25.
I gotta represent myself.
And I said, my mom and dad. I had no idea.
What was her title?
She was she was high up. I can't remember anymore what the exact title was, and I don't
You're
want to.
Mommy and Daddy?
Yeah. Q, when I say to you, looking back, how embarrassing.
You need an attorney for what?
I didn't really know what an agent was.
We were all
I
green.
was so green.
We were
I
so
was
green.
from this little girl from Riverside, went off to college, and my first real job out of college, outside of working in Salinas for 6 months, was Power.
That's crazy.
I mean, I got really lucky. I went straight to Power as my first major job.
Let's talk about how she got to Power. I was there, but I don't remember. I think did you send her an air check or something?
So I'll tell you the really fast version of this. So when I was in college, communication was my minor.
Right.
I had to do an internship, and basically my professor was like, you guys need to do this to graduate. I get into my car, and I kid you, it was like one of those one of those things out of a movie. And the commercial said, do you need an internship to graduate? Call now. And I was like, they're talking to me.
Yeah.
Wrote down the phone number, called, got an interview, and I got hired. And then the guy who was doing mornings at the time, his name was Nasty Man. He used to do afternoons at Kiss FM in Los Angeles. Mm-hmm. Well, our old producer at Power, Jason Ryan, was his producer. What? And so fast forward now, I've already spent a couple years interning, then an internship moved to a paid internship. Now I'm getting ready to graduate and go to Salinas. I land in Salinas, and Jason emails Nasty and says, we're looking for such and such type of person.
What?
Do you know anyone? And Nasty was my mentor in radio. He was the one that was always rooting for me. He was the one who basically made me believe I could do radio.
Right.
And so he emailed me right away. He said, hey, I'm going to connect you with this guy, Jason Ryan. Have a conversation with him. Jumped on the phone with Jason. He said, send me an air check. Sent him an air check. Didn't hear nothing. I think like a month went by. He said, okay, we're going to fly you out November. So I auditioned in November.
I remember that.
Or
What
December.
What
I
year was
auditioned
this?
in December. This is 1999.
Yeah.
2000 hits. And I'm like, are they going to call me back? It feels like forever. And I didn't like my job in Salinas. And finally, I just said, you know what? Regardless if Power calls me back or not, I'm moving home. Like, I got to get out of here. Yeah. And so I had already packed up all my stuff, and I was already heading home. And I had one more audition with Power in January. And then never had to leave home. I was home. Yeah.
Really? I do remember hearing the air checks, and they're I think you sent a picture or something. Like we saw.
Yeah, back in the day, you sent a headshot and you sent your bio and an air check. Yeah,
that's crazy because at that time, like Power 106. I mean, just me from being from Philly, like y'all, that was a huge deal. Like I don't think if you're a certain age, you probably don't even understand the magnitude of how huge the opportunity and how huge radio and specifically the show was.
Massive. I mean, at that, like I was saying, at that time, that was even before MySpace. So when I auditioned on Power, everybody knew. My grandparents knew, your uncles knew, your cousins knew, your friends knew, because everybody listened to radio on their morning commute. Yeah. There was no Apple iPhones with all our playlists yet.
Nah,
and so it was a lot. I remember every day I felt so much pressure to get it right.
Yeah. For the morning show.
Yeah.
Yeah, it was a big deal.
Yeah, because I mean,
and even the day I was hired, like Big never said, like we were just remember our after show meetings. I got
because we talking a little inside. It was Big Boy's Neighborhood, the show that you got hired on.
And also then me and Liz, if you guys don't know, Liz and I worked on Big Boy's Neighborhood also.
Yeah, no,
so there's a connection. Yeah, we all worked on Big Boy's Neighborhood actually.
Yeah, yeah.
Easy, so
yeah. So, but you felt that pressure, like you're young.
100%.
So I don't know if y'all had this. When you do morning radio, it's so personal. It's not like you're just doing liners like, hey, coming up in 5 minutes, right? They want to know who you are, who you dated, all this different stuff. And I remember being, young on the morning show, and there was certain things I had to talk about.
That you didn't want to talk about?
I didn't want to talk about, but it's just stuff you had to talk about. And then my mom or my dad were like, oh, why are you talking about that stuff? Did you have that?
God, what?
100%.
Oh,
Yeah.
I had so much pressure, like so much heat down my back about
Things you can do and what you won't do, right?
Yeah. It was so hard because I was the only girl in the show. And yeah, I was constantly told, you need to open up. You need to talk more about your personal life. And
I remember those meetings.
By nature, I'm a private person.
Yeah.
And so, yeah, I would talk about any topic you want to talk about. But when it came to my own personal life and my person or my parents or my sisters, it felt off limits. And so it was this tug of war of, I love radio, but I didn't grow up really listening to Rick Dees get deep about his family or get deep about his wife.
Yeah.
So now this was like foreign territory.
And she's the only female voice on the morning show.
And at that time, that's before FCC.
Female Latina. No. Right. Female Latina voice in LA, which is predominantly a Latina market.
Yeah.
And you have a black lead. Big Boy's black. Talking. So that's a big deal.
Yeah.
So you had some tug of wars. Like, so how did you get over that?
It was once we became syndicated, and this is when you were on the show, I started to, there was two parts to it. I realized, I think one of the things that really opened me up was when my dad was diagnosed with cancer, and I talked about it on the air. And I realized it's really therapeutic to be able to share what you're going through and to feel that response. And then I went through a breakup, and Big would clown so bad, and he would play like the saddest love songs and make me cry on the air. And so you would walk up to a Dodger game, which was like a hot spot for us at the time because Power 106 was huge. And people weren't coming up to you saying, oh, I remember that interview you guys did with Ludacris or Eminem or, Jennifer Lopez. It was like, oh man, I'm so sorry about your breakup.
Yeah.
Because that's what they could relate to. And that's when I realized the power of storytelling, the power of like allowing yourself to be vulnerable so that people don't feel alone and they feel like they could relate to you.
I do remember us playing that.
Yeah, oh my God.
Liz,
he would turn up my mic when I was like, like you would hear me sniffling into the mic. It was so embarrassing. And
I feel bad because I would laugh at her.
And I could hear it in my headphones. Like, this is so awkward, but this is what I signed up for. And then when we were syndicated, I did like an experiment, right? And I'm not going to say names, but I was dating this guy. You guys know who he was. And I would talk about our issues on the East Coast because nobody on the West. And that was my way of being like, okay, I can talk about my life because he's not going to hear it. My parents aren't going to hear it. My friends aren't going to have an opinion.
Nobody knows on the West.
Nobody knows. But it was so amazing because when we traveled to Philly, everyone had an opinion about what I should do with my relationship. Oh man, and that was when I really understood. Like, man, radio is amazing.
Yeah,
like,
I think even now, the reason why I wanted you to talk about it because there's a lot of personalities going through that now. Like, how much do I share? What do I share? People want to know everything. What color your sheets are, and right? Like,
man,
it's
they want a lot of insight.
It's a delicate balance.
You have to balance it. You have to be willing to show, and there's a way to do it. You can share your stories without putting anybody out. You can just say, this is what I'm going through, and I don't need to name my person. I don't need to name, my relative. And I learned that the hard way because one time I did name somebody. I mean, I was very descriptive, and I had a big falling out with someone in my family because of it. And that was a very valuable lesson.
Really? Are you guys cool now?
We're cool now.
All right, yeah.
But it took a few years.
It had to.
It took a few years.
Yeah, I remember I said something on the air like, oh, I remember we had like roaches in my house. We didn't have roaches, but it was just like we had like water bugs or whatever. I remember my dad called me like, why would you say we had roaches? Quincy's like, we never. I'm like, Dad, I'm just saying, like, sometimes you have to embellish, or it's like being a comedian.
But they take it personal. Like,
I think it's easy with radio too. If you have like a smoking gun, like if you're upset, radio's a great platform to be like, I'll show you. Like, you're gonna come, you don't want no smoke.
Power of the mic.
The
power of that mic.
The power of the mic, but it's also a double-edged sword because, man, once it's out, you can't reel it in anymore. It's said, it's done.
It's out there.
I want to say this publicly, right? Like I work with a lot of air personalities, and I work with a lot of just TV personalities. But Liz, it seems so effortless. The way you come across with interviews, the way you come across being relatable.
Super genuine.
Yeah, like, again, I want to talk to people who are watching that want to do what you do. Like, talk about the process or the working behind the scenes that we don't see that makes it look that effortless.
When I was at Power, it's really about accountability. I would show up probably an hour and a half before everyone else showed up.
You were there early.
And I was pulling,
on the computer.
I was pulling news. I was always preparing, like preparation. And everything in my life has been opportunity meets preparation. And so how good you want to be depends on how much time you want to put into it and your passion for it. You got to be passionate about it. That's the thing. Like, if you're going to succeed at anything in life, you can't do it because you want to look good or you want to keep up with the Joneses or you want to present yourself in a certain light or because you're chasing the dollar. Like, you got to really love what you do for a living, I feel, to be successful, or I have to be successful.
Yeah.
But yeah, it takes a lot of dedication and it takes focus and it takes giving up things that you make a lot of sacrifices, but you try to keep your focus on the bigger picture of what is this going to mean for the people that I love? What is this going to mean for my life in 10 years? That's what I try to focus on. Wow.
Yeah. Like, Liz, coming from you being on the morning show with us, and I'm just trying to paint the picture from Liz. What was one of the biggest lessons you learned by working with us in the morning show?
So it's so interesting. I've actually been thinking a lot about just my experience in radio in those 10 and a half years I was at Power, and thinking about what advice I would have given myself back then.
Yes.
And it would have been to enjoy the ride. I think we were so stressed about so many things. Yeah. We got to share your life more, do this more, do that more, or you got to be here and you got to be there.
God damn, Jason Ryan.
I mean, he was trying to make us great.
I got it. Yeah.
But
later.
Sometimes we just forget, like, we were living in an era where it was magic.
Yeah.
And you were having everyone from John Legend to Rick Ross to Jay-Z to Beyonce to, I mean, you name it. We had every single person in that studio. And I think because there's also this pressure to be on or to perform or whatever it is, I can't define what that pressure is, that you just forget to sit back and say, yo,
enjoy it.
Yes. Yo, I'm sitting next
to
Shaq.
That. Yep.
Or I'm sitting next to Kobe. This is crazy.
But like, now, do you get people come up to you and they're like I'm 50, so I'm at the age where people like grew up listening to us on the morning show, right? And to me, I'm like, I'm just me. Like, they're like, nah, man, it's a big deal. I'm like, I didn't realize of the moment we were in until I got out of it. Does that make sense?
100%. So one of the things when I left Power, I think I was off radio for about a year, and I decided to go back. And this time I went to a competitor. And I said, if I go back, this is going to be the time I share my life, because I understood the value of being closed. Like, basically, I understood the pros and cons of being closed off and being open and having that balance to share. And it was a valuable lesson, because when I came back, I went on to My FM to do mornings. I was an open book. I had just started dating someone. I was like, I met this guy. We met in London. We started dating. I mean, they called him London Bridge. They had this whole, I mean, it was this
But it didn't feel forced. But it didn't feel
forced because I went in it with intention.
Yeah.
And when you set the intention of, I'm going to be open this time, man, the connection I made with that audience I was excited to go to work every day, because I knew what the purpose was. It wasn't about me divulging the details of my life. It was about building connection. And the only thing with that, again, is a double-edged sword, because then when we break up years later, everyone's like, what happened to him?
London Bridge is falling down?
Yeah. Why'd you break up, Fergie? Come on.
You know what I'm saying?
Yeah. But it's really, and so again, you have to realize if I share this, there's a beginning and a middle and an end.
Yeah.
And if you're a public person, people are going to want to know. So again, that's why you have to pick and choose. What do I want to share, and am I willing to see this through to the end?
Yeah, but it was very important for you. Like, you think about the 10 and a half years you're there, right? You go from interviews to syndication to flying around to doing other jobs to you didn't have a chance to kind of like breathe and think, right? So in that year that you paused, you were able to have some reflection.
And not only what, yeah, for sure. And it's not only what you're learning personally, it's what you're learning through the business too, because there was no blueprint. There was no playbook. And I was so naive about
we all were though,
about how to conduct business. You know, I remember being told, this is family here. We don't deal with agents. We don't deal with lawyers. Like, that sounds crazy to me now.
No contract.
That I bought that I bought that line. Like, looking at who professional Liz has become through the years, especially working in television, man, it just to see the way you can get taken advantage of when you don't have the information. Yeah. And that's why it's so valuable. I was just having this conversation. Shout out to my friend Martha Garcia. She's like, it's so valuable that we share information, that we're not trying to like be gatekeepers of, I can't tell you what I make, or I can't tell you what this contract is, or I can't tell you the rules of corporate America, because we're doing each other a disservice.
Yeah.
Because someone else has that information. So if someone else has that information and you don't, and you're going in to make a deal, guess who's going to have the upper hand in that situation? The person who's holding all the cards.
Yeah. And I think, you know, just where we are sitting, you know, we're not as old as Fuzzy, but you know, I don't want y'all to think like we work.
No,
hopefully one day.
Hopefully,
yeah,
God
you know
willing,
what? You are
God
wise.
willing, like 1,000%. But like anytime I see somebody that's, I had this thing I said beginning of the year. I was like, man, I'm not going to give any more unsolicited advice, right? I'm not, you know, I'm just going to step back, right? And we had this situation in Houston with one of our guys, and Fuzz gave some information. I'm like, damn, you know what? All right, I got to start giving more information, because we have some of the things that we've gone through. Yeah, we can give to other people as like, hey, you don't have to go through that. But sometimes you don't know, or you feel like the road that you've been on, you're like, it's always been goals. It's always been like, I want to get the power. Then you got the power. And it's like, now I want to get the TV. And then you get the TV. And then you don't understand or realize that you're gaining all this knowledge that you can give to other people that are coming behind you.
Absolutely.
You know? So
absolutely.
I just wish I would have did more with, I think I wish I would have branded myself more in the morning show. Like, done more stuff. Like, I mean, it's all benefiting right now, of course, but I'm just saying, like, while we were at that young in the morning show, we should have been doing other stuff outside of the morning show.
No, I mean,
you know what I'm saying? Like, I just feel like we should have just
taken advantage of all the opportunity that was there. Yeah.
Yeah.
And it's easy to see in hindsight, you know. It's
After
2020. It's of course.
Yeah.
But that's how you learn and grow, and you just say, okay, this time around I'm going to do it different, and now I know how it all works.
Yeah. No, it's a
learning curve.
Yeah. I mean, you get it now. We can bounce around, Liz. I mean, it's so many things to talk to you about, you know, radio, TV.
But let's stay on this personal bag here.
Oh, okay.
Let's stay on this. I'm with this. Do you feel like, Liz, this is talking like this. Yeah.
Do you always feel makes me nervous.
Like
no. I'm not no. I'm saying, but do you feel like you gave your life to the entertainment game so early? You mean you were just a baby. You were in the 20s, right?
Yeah.
Liz used to drive a pickup truck, first of all.
No, you didn't.
Yes, I did.
Yeah, she used to have
no, she wasn't driving a pickup truck when I met her.
No.
Yeah, I had a red Toyota pickup truck, stick. Yep. And then
she with it.
How, really?
Yeah. She drove.
You pull up to the club?
Oh, yeah, in the pickup truck.
And then after that, I got another Toyota pickup truck.
It was a great one, like a silver one.
Yeah.
I thought she was cracking. I was like, oh my God, she's driving a pickup truck. I thought it was a big deal. Like, oh, that's dope.
Yeah.
But no, I'm saying,
Tomboy at heart.
Do you feel like, because you guys saw me get married, have a kid, you know, I had the first time I talked about getting, you know, my ex was pregnant, then we had a miscarriage.
Damn.
I talked about that. I didn't know what the hell. It was the first time for me. So do you feel like you were so in the morning show or in entertainment that you get a chance to dial in about you as going on relationships? Or I don't know, maybe you got proposed to or didn't get married. You know what I'm saying? Like, do you feel like
I sacrificed?
you sacrifice?
No, I don't. I think I've always been really intentional about my decisions.
Yeah.
I think it was beautiful to be able to watch all of you live your lives and especially, like I said, being the only woman amongst all these men and just seeing everyone's life kind of unfold and being able to get advice from you guys was beautiful.
A ton of advice.
But I don't feel my personal life ever took a backseat. I just feel that what I've learned in the process of being in high-profile jobs is that you need a special person who can walk with you through it.
That's the part
Yeah. So I don't feel like, I missed out on, having kids or anything like that. Like, no, I just feel that the things that I've probably struggled with the most is finding a partner that can
be on your level or be equal.
It's a lot to deal with.
Equally yoked?
Just that
right?
Gets it. Just gets
Understand it, not being jealous.
Understands it and gives you the permission to grow and learn and just be a witness to what you're going through as opposed to anything outside of that.
Do you feel like we protected you too much? We were like big brothers too much? Because everybody says she's fine. I don't see it. I don't see it
either. Especially you see it like 4 o'clock in the morning. I'm like, bro.
I don't see it.
Exactly.
Goat mouth. We call her goat mouth. She's a goat mouth.
I tell her, I'm like, people call me like, what's up with Liz? I'm like,
y'all kept me humble. I will say that. You guys kept me humble. There were things that I was definitely scared to tell you guys. Or,
I can imagine.
Bring people around because I was really sure because it was like having 5, 6 big brothers
we always
that
had
were just waiting.
Like, Liz, what are you doing? I'm like, damn.
I mean, even if I got quiet and was like in the corner on my
who that?
On my two-way pager,
yeah.
it was, who you texting? What you doing? What time
like
you leaving?
Don't I say big brother? We big brother Liz.
Yeah.
But it wasn't out of like on some like. I think it was
out of love.
I
think if anything, you guys protected me from a lot of the bullshit for real. Yeah. Because I knew at the end of the day, I was so young and I was naive and in the industry.
You know how many artists was trying to get at Liz and we were just cock blocking.
How did you deal with that? Right? Because people talk and you have to make sure that you keep a certain reputation, right?
Sure.
That you're, a journalist first. But, you still like,
a hoe second.
You out here popping. You out here popping. Like, at 26, that's not what you're thinking about at 26, 27 years old. So how do you deal with that?
The balance.
The balance of like, nah, I would, but I can't. So
sure, it can be alluring. I mean, I felt grateful that when I first started at Power, I'd been in a relationship with my high school sweetheart for so long.
Why does this do that? Where are you at?
He's married with kids.
Yeah, he's still in the sky.
And we're still really good friends.
Whoa. No,
see, this is the part where you don't say names. See, you got to protect people's privacy.
High school sweetheart.
I'll send you the letter.
You know who it is?
Yeah.
I don't know who it is. Do I know who it is?
Yes. We talked about him all the time. He's a
high school sweetheart that's married?
Yeah, he be like, he
Can we
I'm sorry. I apologize.
This poor guy. I'm not trying to put his life on hold.
Sweetheart.
So in the first few years,
I'm drawing a blank right now.
It's like people can come in and they can say whatever they're going to say to you, but and I feel.
Oh, I do remember, cuz.
Yeah, and I was.
He's a nice guy.
I like to think I'm raised by really great parents, and then when I became single, that's when it was like, okay, you really start to understand just the attention that's on you. Because you're feeling it in a different way. And the thing that I used to think was so funny when we were at Power was everyone had the same signal. So we take, after the interview was over and we take a photo as the neighborhood. Yeah. They take their 2 fingers and poke you right in the ribs. Like, what's up, girl? That was the code. And I would my eyes would just kind of switch like, who do I tell?
Yeah. You remember the first celebrity that hit on you? I remember mine. Janet Jackson hit on me first. So who's yours?
Whatever.
I'm capping.
That's like, come on, dog.
All right, no, who's it?
I don't remember.
She won't say.
Listen, I remember a particular backstage breakfast. We were interviewing this person, and they kept on hounding me to get,
what's up with Liz?
Yo, shorty, what's up, shorty? I'm like, yo, bro, like, nah.
Just kidding.
Yeah, dude. Like, take your ass back to Atlanta.
That's tough. Oh, well, that's a lot of people. You can say, you can say a lot of people.
It was popping.
It's like saying
it was popping.
I know what you're
Exactly. They was on me. I'm like, bro, no.
Oh my God.
Nah, man.
I'm so
Really?
mad.
Take your ass back to the ATL.
Yeah, but no, I was able to. I think I did a really good job of navigating.
You did.
Yeah. And I didn't date
did.
people in the industry. I guess I'll just say that. Like,
Yeah, that's tough because, you know.
That's all we were around.
Yeah.
I had to tell Janet, slow down.
Slow down.
I'm like,
pump your
JD.
brakes.
I'm going to call JD.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Tell on her.
I'm married, but go to JD.
Yeah, so never mind. So is it tough? Is it tough? Is it tough dating? Like, say if you see a regular guy and he's like, and then he fans out on you. You're like, damn, dog, I just want to.
I'm sure that's happened.
Right?
I mean, I used to be more afraid of it when I was at Power because the platform was so big.
Yeah.
And I felt like anywhere we went in LA, we got, I mean, it feels so dumb saying it, but you get recognized or people come up to you. And so because that happened more frequently then, you weren't really sure who you could trust. Like, oh, is this guy here for me or is he here because...
You trying to go to Powerhouse or tickets or something.
Yeah.
No, it's tough. It's a tough...
Yeah, but I don't think I worry about it so much anymore. I just think that I'm smart enough now and intuitive enough to know that if someone's here for the right or wrong reasons. Because, I've definitely hung out with guys and they're like, I grew up listening to you. But I don't...
Yes,
they're people too. Like, what am I gonna be like? Oh, you grew up listening? No,
it's not like you're a porn star. You're like, you don't know what the fuck I do. You know what I'm saying? Yeah, you know what I mean.
No, we trying to segue to Wordaful, man. You start,
Porn's a word.
It is a word. It is a word. Listen, you don't have to treat me like the Virgin Mary.
No, that's
she
him.
is the Virgin. She is.
That
the
is
Virgin
him.
Mary.
That's you.
Because we know a lot about Liz.
You on that Big Brother shit right now, bro.
Yeah, I'm trying to protect her. I'm trying to make sure she's.
Listen,
I'm Liz.
Yeah, I'm very transparent. I've got nothing to hide. So
I'm saying it's Liz.
It is Liz. It is Liz.
And it is Liz.
And it is Liz.
No, I will say. I mean, I had a great time growing up in the industry. I can't say that, like, yeah, of course, like I had my fun, but there's nothing I'll look back and be like, man, I regret doing that, or I'm so embarrassed I did that. I mean, there's a couple things maybe, but but there's nothing that I just lived my life, and I feel like I was in alignment with who I still am today. Just in it's just tenfold now.
Yeah, I like to call Liz the Mexican Oprah.
Wow.
Yes.
He does call me that. I think it's sweet.
Mexican Oprah. I've never heard that. I can see that though.
Yeah, she's open, she's subtle, she's encouraging, she's
pleasant.
Warm. She's all those things. Let's talk about Wordaful, because I think there's a lot of people that go through the industry, right? And I feel like we lease our likeness and our energy to these companies, right? And then we get to a point where it's like, all right, that was cool, but I need to do something for me that I'm really meaningful. Talk about when you were at the transition from this. You were doing, like, I forget, you were telling, because I felt the same way. You were at Access Hollywood.
Yeah.
And you're talking about celebrities' lives, and it's like, this is cool, but I have so much more
to offer.
I mean, it was a process. Right when I got hired at Access Hollywood, within a month, my mom was diagnosed with dementia, which would turn into Alzheimer's. And I remember talking to my boss then and saying, I think I have to quit because I'm going to care for my mom. And she said, I'm a mom, and I don't think that's what your mom would want. And then when I talked to my dad, he almost lost his ish because he goes, you did not go through all that college and wake up killing yourself for 10 and a half years to finally make it. And then he's like, if your mom was in her, if she could have a voice in this, she wouldn't want that for you. And so I stayed on, and I just started to feel stressed. It's like you work so hard to get somewhere, and then you get there. And that's why they always say, make sure you're enjoying the journey, because it's definitely not the destination.
Oh, yeah.
You get to the destination sometime, you're like, this is it?
Yeah, you're right about that.
This didn't bring me all the joy and happiness and, this dream I built in my mind. So I was really getting worked when I got there. I was doing the show, I was doing red carpets, I was being sent to interviews, and so I was just consuming nonstop celebrity news. And at the time I had told my person, I just miss storytelling. I miss connecting with people. I miss those real conversations we were having on the air about did you go to the Laker game last night? Oh yeah, did this happen to me? Someone cut me in line and whatever it was, you know? And so Wordaful was created. It was, I'm just going to make this YouTube video or this YouTube platform, take this YouTube platform and talk about the power of one word, because my mom was losing her words. And I really wanted to connect back with the people that I had spent 10 years of my life with. That was LA. LA was so good to me. So you see all the comments on social media. There were people always like emailing at the time, this website I had. And so from that, I started doing live events. And my first live event, like 350 people showed up. And that was that realization of, oh, I'm not the only one who's hungry for connection. All of these people want to feel connected. That's really what it symbolized to me. It wasn't like, oh, all these people showed up to my, it's like, no, everyone wants a sense of community. And so, those little things just kind of stay with you. And as I started moving through my career, as my mom started to become more ill, I just remember standing on stage one day and I was looking into the teleprompter and my story was about Harry Styles' tattoo. And my co-host wanted to have a debate with me about it, about why she thought it was like lame. And I mean, it was like I was hovering over myself thinking, what are you doing? Your mom's dying. You should be with your mom and you should be putting something out into the world that has meaning.
Right. Yeah.
Like, what are you going to have to show for this at the end of the day?
Right.
Oh, maybe there'll be like an Emmy on your and what? It's going to be cool when you guys come over and I'm old and they've already pushed me out the business. And I'm like, hey guys, come look at my Emmy that's just sitting, this gold piece of nothing that's sitting here on my shelf. And so that was kind of like, that was my wake up call was, okay, I need to start lining up my ducks so I can get out of here.
For something more meaningful.
I started to realize I was enjoying creating episodes more than I was enjoying my job.
Got it.
And I was loving live events where it was that sense of community that you're making eye contact, you're seeing each other, you're hearing other people's stories. More than I was enjoying sitting at the Four Seasons interviewing
somebody else.
Ben Affleck about his divorce.
And it's disposable, content. It's just like, oh, this is what happens now, and it's.
And I felt bad. I felt like a fraud because we'd been privileged enough to interview everybody. So by the time I got there, I just felt like I was doing the same job over again, but on camera. And I appreciated it, but I thought there should be somebody here who really wants to do this, who really wants to talk to these people about, because I'm not the gotcha journalist. It made my stomach turn to have to be sent into a room and they're like, okay, make sure you ask them about,
the gotcha moment or gossip stuff. But see, this is where I want to paint a picture for people that's listening about Liz. Liz has always been a positive spirit. No, that ass.
Yeah.
Always been a positive spirit and super connected with her family.
1000%.
So that's why I want to say, like, you would go drive to Riverside on the weekend.
Every weekend.
Every week. Am I right?
Yeah.
So I knew the connection with her dad, her mom.
That's why I wasn't ratchet when I was at Power.
Right. So, yeah. A different, I saw the different relationship with her dad, different relationship with her mom. The sisters, like, then her, her neat, like, we would hear about this, what you did every weekend because you come back from Riverside, right?
I was so jealous of y'all. Y'all was able to go back home. I'm like, because I was from Philly, and y'all were like, oh, yeah, what the...
No, but I really tasted that just living in Salinas for 6 months because that's a 7-hour drive from my family, from my friends. So when I landed at Power and my family's now an hour away, I'm going home every weekend.
Yeah.
And I was away at college before that, so.
Yeah, remember we went to Puerto Vallarta?
Yeah.
That was fun. Like,
fun.
never.
Nice little.
We were like MTV Real World out there.
Oh my gosh, but no, just to see your family, your connection. Being able to see like, your home away from home. Like, I'm like, man, this is like real connection. So
it was a lot of culture. Yeah, it was beautiful to introduce you guys to where. I mean, I grew up going to Puerto Vallarta, so it was nice to bring you home to where that was my second home growing up.
So it was tough for you dealing with you're working, but now somebody close to you like your mom is dealing with dementia, and now it's the relationship is different because she's communicating different to you, or
because you guys know you waste a lot of time on sets, whether it's a radio set, whether it's a TV set, it's a lot of time. Hurry up and wait. And so every day you're watching the clock and you're like, this is another day I'm not with my mother, the person I love the most in the world. Yeah. And I know that she's got an expiration date.
Yeah.
What
we
am I
all
doing?
have an expiration.
Well, we all
date.
have, but
Yeah.
but you know,
You're seeing it now.
see it.
I know that hers is a few years.
Yeah.
And so every day that I'm sitting there, I feel like I gotta get out. Like you're antsy. I gotta get out of here. I gotta get out of here. I need to go be with my mom.
How was those conversations with your mom when she was dealing with dementia? Like, could you tell like it was slipping, or were you trying to make sure you had different conversations? So,
in the beginning, there's a lot of repetition.
yeah.
So she would ask, "How was your day?" And then you tell her, and then we talk about something. She said, "Well, how was your day?" And then you talk, and then as it progresses, I'll never forget one day. We were together all day long. Got there, we had breakfast. I took her outside. We sat in the sun. I read to her. We came inside. Oh, it's gonna make me so sad. We painted. We did this little painting session, and then we were listening to music. She grabbed my hand and she said, how did she say it? She said, "If you're ever in LA, I would love to introduce you to my daughter. I really think that the two of you would get along."
Oh no!
It crushed. She was referring to you.
She was referring to me, and in that moment, I just had to sit with it and let it digest because I didn't want to upset her. And I thought, the silver lining here is if my mom met me as a complete stranger, she would like me.
Yeah,
and that's a testament to how she raised me.
Wow.
So
my mom, y'all know, passed away of cancer, and what I did was, just to honor her and her legacy, I got connected with the organization, nonprofit, that helps cancer patients in Philadelphia, right? Legacy of Hope. Shout out to them. What have you done to honor your mother and her legacy?
From the jump, it was really hard because my mother was a very private person, and you struggle with the culture of. In the Latino culture, you don't talk about your stuff. You keep it all within the four corners of your house, behind closed doors. So I didn't want to disrespect my mom by talking about what was happening. And then by the grace of God, Maria Shriver ended up finding out and reached out to me, and she lost her father to Alzheimer's and has become a huge advocate. And she said to me, "You got to use your pain for purpose."
Wow.
And
that's a bold statement.
And it made me realize, like, if I don't want other daughters, because it was so unexpected. Like Alzheimer's, that happens to other people. That doesn't happen to my mom.
Yeah.
And I thought if I can just help one girl not feel the pain that I felt or my family felt by just knowing the warning signs or explaining what I was going through. And what I've learned along the way is grief has to be witnessed. When you share your story, it lessens the pain. Yeah. And so from that, as soon as I had that talk with Maria Shriver, I was like, okay, I've got to just assume that my mom's going to give me her blessing because I'm going to honor her in this way. I'm going to not let what she's going through go in vain. I'm going to try to help because it affects Blacks and Latinos the most. Wow. And so if I can be a voice in my own community to try to help, then by God, I have to. So teamed up with the Alzheimer's Association, teamed up with Move for Minds, did a bunch of advocacy work, still doing advocacy work. And yeah, anytime they need me, any place. I went to Washington to go speak with Congress to get the budget moved, and it went through. So yeah, man. Yeah, I'm not saying it was all me, but
no, you was a part of it.
Definitely a huge part of it, and I feel really proud of that.
That's crazy.
Yeah, because people need to hear that. Like, I mean, even with my mom, I was like, man, how can I honor her? And Legacy of Hope, like the year to the date almost, it was a run in Philly, like a 13-mile half marathon. And somebody reached out like, hey, Q likes to run. Let's see if he can run. And I was like, what's it for? And they were like, oh, it's for Legacy of Hope. They do, emergency care for cancer patients. I'm like, yep. Boom, this is how I'm going to honor my mom, right?
And it ends up blessing you back.
1,000%.
I went to the Walk for Alzheimer's, and they had me host. And, I didn't even know what I was really getting involved with. I was just like, yeah, whatever you guys want me to do. And you just show up places. And then to hear so many people's stories of, oh, my mom hides the spoons. Your mom hides, okay.
Got it.
I get, like, you just feel way less alone.
Yeah.
And it's such a beautiful thing when you're in a community of people that have been through what you've been through. Again, going back to the power of storytelling and why it's so important to share information.
Man, are we going to see movies from you, Liz? Like, what's going on? Like, what's
Yeah, why you even start acting more? Have you done
Oh my God, you're talking to
writing?
my dad. My dad thinks because I live in Hollywood or LA,
You should be acting.
he's like, every time
we
get on
done
the phone,
Entourage together, so it's
every
nothing.
time we
Yeah,
get
I
on
saw
the
that.
phone.
Yeah. Yo, do you have any aspirations to?
No.
Why not?
It's not my thing. I think I tasted enough of the industry when I was in radio. I think it was pretty beautiful. Like, we didn't have to act. We got to be ourselves and get paid for it. And to me, that's the best kind of job.
Yeah.
And so with television, it was more of you're yourself, but you're also wearing corporate's hat. And now with Wordaful, I just feel I'm just being myself and sharing my stories and experiences and doing what I love. And there's no pressure to look a certain way. There's no pressure to need an agent. I don't want that
Just
life.
doing you.
Yeah.
So, tell us about Wordaful, because we got to play this game. We got to play this game live.
She invented a game.
Yeah, tell us about this game.
It's an invention. You know that, right?
It is.
Yeah.
That was dope for us.
Invention.
Yeah. Tell us about this game that they can get at wordaful.com, Liz Hernandez.
So when I first started Wordaful, the way I would create an episode, which took forever, was we used to have like a board that had guiding questions.
Mm-hmm.
So it was like, what does this word mean to you? Where have you heard this word in a song? Who was the last person that asked you about this word? Tell me an experience you've had with this word. And I always thought that was really cool because it always inspired conversation.
Okay. Right.
And so now fast forward, we're in the pandemic and I'm only hanging out with 2 people, 3 people max for a year because it's scary outside.
Yeah.
And Alex.
What?
And Alex on Peloton. Shout out to Alex.
Oh, and Alex, yeah, on
Yeah, what the
Peloton.
hell
Yeah,
is
yeah. I was like, Alex, yeah. Oh, yeah. We were hanging out with Alex. No, and so you can only have so many conversations in a year when you sit at the dinner table.
Right.
And I'll never forget, me and my girlfriend, who's actually here, we were sitting at the table playing this one game, and it got so uncomfortable so fast because it was more meant for intimate couples, you know, and I'm asking her.
Yeah, you guys are
I'm asking.
having some real.
I'm asking her about her favorite sexual position, and I'm like, this isn't the conversation. But I'm just being honest. Like it's like these aren't the type of questions I want to know from her. I want to know what she's still healing from. I want to know what her heart
Some
is.
real human being connection.
Something that's not. What am I going to do with that other information? Nothing. What I can grow from and what I can learn from are her real life experiences. And so I just sat at the computer one day and I just started writing 10 questions for every letter of the alphabet. And then I would run it past my friends. So basically I would choose a word. So for A, I would choose the word acceptance. And then I would write 10 questions for acceptance. What is something you're having trouble accepting with yourself, accepting with other people, accepting about life? Then I would move on to B, and that word became believe. What's something that maybe you believed in as a kid that you still believe in now, or who believes in you the most?
Right.
And it was just process of elimination. It was taking the best
You went that through all the alphabets?
through the entire alphabet.
What the hell did you do when you get to X?
So crazy. So X.
I'm stuck. I'm like,
no,
yeah,
X was the hardest category.
Had to be.
So I was like, xylophone? Like what it starts with X? And then I was like, I got it. EX. X relate like X people in your life.
Yeah.
That opens up a whole new category. So what did your ex teach you about yourself? What would your ex say is your best quality?
Your goat mouth.
If you had
yes.
If you had to write a book about your ex relationship, what would the title be? So it started to flow a lot easier.
This is smart, man.
Easier.
A lot of wine. Was a lot of red wine and words, or
Red wine.
No, I want to say I wrote all the questions in just a few days, and then the process became, let me test this out on my friends. Let me ask them. There would be like, no, this question sucks. Oh, this question's good. Maybe reword this question.
But you had the Wordaful. That was all your idea for that word, Wordaful.
Yeah,
You had to get it patent.
It's basically words are powerful. And it was easier to get it trademarked if you made up your own word.
So you made that up. I'm thinking it was play off of Wonderful.
No. So words, it's basically word, because the title is Words Are Powerful. That's what Wordaful stands for. Okay. So the first part is word, and then R, which is A, and then FUL is the end of powerful. So Wordaful.
Got it.
All right, so we're going to play the game. This is the game, No Room for Small Talk.
That's patent. You got the...
Yeah, this is patent. This is already
patent. Yeah.
This is thoughtful. Like
I just want some of our scammers to think they can run with this.
Oh, no.
We got some scammers. Shout out to the scammers.
Yeah,
You know what I mean?
one love to them. No room for small talk. So how do we play the game? We're going to just do like a round or two.
We done this on our Instagram live too.
Well, we'll get deeper.
It was fun.
Let's get deeper.
Okay, so how do we play, Liz?
So you're gonna roll,
Okay.
and whatever color you land on, Fuzzy's gonna ask the question.
Die. It's a die.
It's a die. Yeah.
Not dice.
Yeah. That would be two.
Did
All
I
right.
teach you that, Fuzz?
Yeah.
Yeah.
All right. So I think that's pink. Is this
make
pink?
sure.
Lavender. Lavender.
That's
All right.
pink.
Pink. All right. Go ahead, Fuzz. All right.
No. You.
You?
Oh yeah. You read the question.
Right? All right.
Sorry.
Boom. There you go.
My bad.
Is there something you struggle to understand about yourself?
That would be his question.
Me?
Yeah.
Something.
Is there something you
Yeah.
struggle
How
to
to
understand about yourself?
Sound real Jeopardy right there.
I like to bring people along. I like to see people's best qualities, but sometimes it's okay to drop people off and say, this is where our intimate.
This is where your exit at, and I'm going to keep going.
Yeah. Sometimes I keep people around like, oh no, we can keep going. And sometimes I try to force.
Yeah. That carpool lane. You got to let them off at the carpool
Okay.
lane.
That was a good. Okay.
Yeah.
Do you roll? Okay, you roll.
Go with that baby blue, baby.
Q, you read Fuzz's.
Okay, which one is this?
Acceptance.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
Are you colorblind?
Yeah, I am colorblind.
It's acceptance.
I love LA.
So yours was understand.
Okay. Acceptance. Okay. What are you currently struggling to
Goddamn.
accept? Ooh, this is deep. Where do
There's
you
no
currently-
room for small talk.
Yeah, what are you currently struggling to accept, Fuzz?
That's a deep one. That's
Yeah,
deep.
yeah.
What am I currently?
Yeah, you
I
can't
mean,
just
right now.
Yeah, you can't. Yeah,
Uh,
this is real.
yeah.
It's right now. Oh my god.
It's quite a few things. Q.
Come on, let's get vulnerable, baby.
What's the first thing that comes to mind? I always say that's usually the right answer, or the most honest answer.
The trust. Okay, this is a real one.
Okay.
My struggle is to trust certain people outside of me and Q's business to help us grow.
Yeah.
That's a real struggle. Like, I trust Q, but then there's other people. I'm like, if you ain't saying what you're gonna do, then I'm cool. So that's a real struggle. That's daily.
I feel you.
Yeah.
Words and actions got.
He had some other things he was gonna say, but he,
No, that's the current struggle about our business, about FAQ.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's hard. It's so funny. That's actually a season I'm in right now of learning. We've put in so much time and energy into our careers, years, and there's always someone who's going to want to cut the line.
Yeah.
There's always someone who's like, "Oh, you're right at the gate to get in with the golden ticket.
Yep.
Can I get in with you?" And you just think
I
like,
tell you, that's what it is.
Yeah.
"Oh man, like I would rather bring my dad in, or like my best friend, or someone who I believe in, or someone who's
Yeah.
But that's life, and people always want the easy way in or the shortcut.
Yes, it was an urban philosopher from Long Beach. He said, everybody got a cup, but they didn't chip in. Just want to let you know that was urban philosopher from Long Beach.
We like Long Beach.
All right.
Okay. Intimacy.
Oh boy.
Of course, it would land on Liz. Intimacy.
Name 3 attractive qualities. Oh, this is okay. Name 3 attractive qualities in another person.
I like the way you're about to read it, though.
Yeah, you right?
Yeah, it's kind
I
of
was gonna
fly.
add some
It
stuff
was like
to
late night. That's late night
Ooh.
radio. Who was the guy on the beat who did
Theo.
Theo? Yeah.
Name 3 attractive qualities in another person. Shout out to Theo.
You gotta be loyal. That to me is like first and foremost. Like loyal and honesty. They're 2 different things, but they're one and the same.
Okay.
Compassionate and just kind. Kind.
No?
What?
AC Fuzz.
You don't want the, gotta be good, you know what I mean?
Baka baka.
You know what I'm saying?
Blocka.
You know what?
Sorry.
I still don't know what kind of guy Liz likes. So
Oh,
I'm
you
just trying-
don't? Please,
I think I do, but I don't.
1000%.
You do?
She switches it up. So I'm gonna tell you, this is Liz.
This is all good information
No, this
for
is
me.
so she'll
Okay.
go like this. I'm just all right.
Please tell me.
She'll say, "Ooh, I like intimacy." I'm just going off the cards. I like intimacy,
Right.
And then she'll go down intimacy route, and it's like, no. Let me go back to memories, and then she go back to memories, right? And it's like memories is cool, and it's like no, but I like the quality. It doesn't need to look like
Wait,
this.
I'm so confused with the metaphors. Tell
All right.
me the
So you'll go like this.
Straight up,
She'll go
man,
like
what
this.
it
She'll go
is.
like this. Liz will go, yo, I like this kind of dude. He understands me because he's, he understands what I'm going through. He's confident, and then it's like, oh, confidence turns into cocky. I'm not messing with that guy. Then she's like, all right, I'm gonna go mess with, It hasn't been a lot of guys. I've known Liz for a long time, so stop. Right? So then it'll go from the confidence, the cocky guy to, you know what, I'm the shy guy. But the shy guy doesn't tell all of his, he doesn't tell his emotions, and she needs to talk, so she doesn't want that guy. It's like, he's boring. Yeah. Then it's like, I need to get the bad boy. I'm going to get the bad boy. He's like, it's like, oh, that's too much because I can't bring him home. So trust, she goes.
It's a struggle. It's a struggle.
Like, then she starts to reminisce about the past.
It's called being all over the yard.
Yes. But no, everybody's
scrambled
like
eggs.
Scrambled eggs.
Then it's like, oh.
But it's all trial and error,
yes,
right?
It is.
So you need a little bit of everything.
No, I think that's part of learning and growing is like you go.
I'm so
but here's the thing. I pride myself on that because I haven't gone back to the same person every time.
That's
and
facts.
It's like, oh, why haven't I learned my lesson? Oh, why haven't I learned my lesson? It's like, okay, let me try and date this type of person. Okay, this isn't for me. Let me try and be with this type of human. Okay, that's definitely not for me.
Yeah.
And then you kind of learn from each relationship. Like, I definitely want a little bit of what he had. I don't want what he had. And then I want a lot of what this person has.
Yeah. So what does the guy have now? Where's this partner at? Where's he at now?
I don't know.
Oh, yes, I'm telling you. Loving, caring.
But you're not on any dating sites or anything, right? Did you ever try that, Liz?
Yeah.
Oh, no, bro.
You didn't know that?
This is what I dealt with at Power. This is what I dealt with.
Bro. Liz, tell me, look at me in my eyes and say you did not get on that app.
Yes, I
she was on the app.
Yes, I did.
I didn't know that.
Yeah.
We were. To be fair, I had never. Listen. I had never gone on one until we were about 4 or 5 months into the pandemic, and I thought, oh my God, I'm going to die alone.
Everybody was smashing everybody on the apps, though.
Yeah,
well, I wasn't. I haven't smashed anyone I've met on an app.
I get that. Understand? I'm just telling you, Liz.
Oh, never mind.
But was it like? Wait, hold on. Was it like a higher end app? Was it like one of those higher end? Like you had to pay to get in?
What?
Was it like a higher end? Was it like
it was free.
Tinder?
It was free.
Were you on Tinder or something?
No, I wasn't on Tinder.
Yeah, we can't say that because they.
Yeah, I'm not gonna give free shout out. I was on.
Do you still have a profile on there
now?
No,
I don't.
Oh man,
everything's deleted.
Bro,
did she ask me about this one?
You dead ass serious?
Like, I gotta tell you, she asked me.
You know about this for real?
Yeah, I went on a few dates, Fuzz.
Yeah. Wow, dog.
Yeah.
Drake? Yeah. What, are you serious?
Yes.
I'm really
flabbergasted. You gotta tap in, man. You just
that's not how I met you.
So I know, I get it.
That was a total joke.
Wait. So you went out on a couple of dates because of this app, and these people had to click. What was your name on the app?
Liz Hernandez.
Fucking A, dog. Yeah. So they knew that Liz is on. 1,000%. Do you understand word of mouth? Like, say if
But every guy, well, not every guy. I went out with 2 guys, just on coffee dates. They didn't know who I was. No, they didn't. I promise you.
Because the profile that she put, she made sure that they weren't like hip hop or
the picture though. It's the picture. The picture is lit.
But the thing,
Shout out to hip hop, man.
But you could put like certain preferences. So she probably went to another preference. You gotta know Liz. You gotta tap in. So I'm telling you.
Here, not to put my business all out there, but one guy, he wasn't even from this country. Like he was from.
So you would fly to Croatia or something?
Yeah,
no, he had moved. He was from like Peru, and he had moved here. And I promise.
Scumbag though. He was probably a scumbag.
He was a nice guy.
Scumbag.
Just no chemistry.
Yeah, he wore tight jeans.
You saw this dude?
She wanted to show him what he was working. Never mind.
Right, he had long hair?
Nothing ever got serious. It was so innocent. It was, let's meet for coffee. One guy I stayed friends with. I'm still friends with him now. Okay.
But nothing ever, like nothing?
No, never, like, not even kiss.
So what the fuck are you doing on the app?
Was that the dude that did he come, he was coming.
How the fuck you know all this?
I tap in with Liz. I take showers in the shower.
I see.
I take showers in the shower.
There was only one guy. We went on, I think, 2 dates.
Oh, he thought he was cracking. Did he hold your hand?
No. It never even got past friend zone.
But you understand, okay. Scumbag Fuzzy, this is the homies.
Yeah.
They on these apps, all they do is
they getting it.
They swipe and they just I can back
don't you have a little trust in me that
I trust you. I just don't trust the dudes that's around on that app, whatever it was.
Yeah, you'll find out.
So I'm off. Okay, Fuzz, it's okay.
Yeah, dog.
I love you.
All right.
Why? I'm like, this Liz though. You know what I'm saying? Like Liz can date anybody she wants to.
But she asked me about this one guy, and you gotta remember when
Did you know that one guy that popped up on it?
I like how Fuzz says that. Like, she could date any guy she wants to. Like, all these guys are just standing outside my house. Like, where are these guys? Because I'll tell you this. That's the problem. And this is for every girl.
All right.
Like,
guys are weird.
We are
guys
weird.
Are super weird.
But it's Liz.
I feel, and again, I apologize if this isn't you and you don't fall into this category. But in my experience, most men that I have met and that I'm even sometimes friends with don't have the emotional intelligence to court a girl. It's not about what you have. It's not about what you have in the bank. It's not about what kind of car you drive. It's about just knowing how to have the confidence to talk to a girl, to treat a girl, to care about her interests, to pay attention. And it's like you're making these women pull teeth, man, for nothing. And it to the point where it pisses me off. Like, I'm just like, man, most dudes, come on. Like, there's so many beautiful, intelligent, hardworking women that are prizes. And these women are having to lower their standards 1,000%. To go out with whatever type dudes, because it's just,
I agree.
Where is this guy that's just got his level-headed?
I don't know one guy I would hook Liz up with.
That same here. That's what I'm
saying. She can date any. That's what I'm saying. Like, dude, and you got to remember now, as you get over 30, 35, and if a guy meets a certain criteria, he can go on the app and get serviced and keep it moving. Man,
I want receipts that you've been to therapy. That's what I want.
Wow.
Yeah, no.
Like, I want to know that you're working on yourself, because that's the thing. Like, I'm working on myself. I'm doing everything I can to pay my bills. Yeah. I'm trying to, like, make sure I nourish the relationships with my friends, my mentors. Like, where is this guy that can keep up with that? Because that's what I need.
Hey, the 10th emailer. Email us at fuzzyandq@gmail.com. The 10th emailer will set you up with a date with Liz Hernandez. Well, we just need to get your social security number, do a background.
Me off on
we just did. Yeah. She's a rapper.
Yo, bro, you just auctioned it off.
Yeah. fuzzyandq@gmail.com. If you like
money's going to charity.
Yeah, money's going to charity. We'll get some sushi. Yeah.
What? I'm really taken back by this app thing. I don't think
it's over.
Tripping,
think about the dudes that you know, and then if you said, "Hey, I need 2 weeks to find a guy that you can set Liz up with." I don't know any dudes.
I don't. I'm saying, but I'm tripping off of the app.
Okay, well, let's go back to what Q's just saying, because Fuzz is always saying, like, so and so's asking about you. So and so's asking about you.
Yeah, but I just. It's usually, is she fucking? I'm like, nah, dog. Nah, I don't want to know. Nah, bro. I don't know. No, she's not. Yeah, she's a virgin, bro. Now what?
God.
That's kind of crazy, but yeah.
You know how many times I told people Liz is a virgin?
Especially,
she's a virgin.
And then think about the entertainment industry. Any dudes in the entertainment industry, would you be like, oh yeah,
nah,
he's
bro.
single? That's what I'm saying.
Nah.
Thanks, guys.
It's just tough.
It's tough.
We gotta. Never mind.
We gotta be.
I've had this conversation before. I don't know where the good dudes are. I don't know any.
But there are good dudes. Let's keep it 100. There are a lot of good dudes. We're good dudes. There's a lot of good dudes.
We married and taken and all that different stuff.
Yeah, we love.
And then you got to learn through that, and then you got to better yourself. Never mind. Yeah. Hey guys,
maybe you should date a married guy. At least you know he's halfway got the morals together. You know what I'm saying?
Know that he can commit.
He got commitment. He can make a house mortgage. He can produce.
I'm not trying to be a
He knows how to talk to you. He'll listen.
He's not on record.
I'm sorry.
I'm just throwing it out there. Okay.
No room for small talk.
Last question.
Yeah.
Who idea was it to get on the app?
Mine.
Yeah.
Oh, it's yours.
I was saying, we were 5 months into a pandemic, and it was really just me sitting in the house, and I was like, well, I'm probably going to die alone, because I don't know how long we're going to be in this pandemic.
Just you and your pet.
Yeah, I was just bored. It was really out of boredom.
But again, 10th emailer, fuzzyandq@gmail.com. We got you, Liz.
Don't worry about it.
Yeah, we'll do
check
a recap
the YouTube
here.
Comments that everybody subscribes.
Oh yeah,
to,
it's gonna get crazy.
It's about to be crazy.
We thank you for stopping by.
Man, you guys are the best.
Yeah, I was trying to keep it clean, but
bro, I'm really taken back by the app thing. I would have never in 1,000 years thought.
Bro, like
it's Liz.
Wordaful.com. Check out Liz Hernandez. We love Liz. Can we get up for Liz, y'all? Can we get up for Liz?
Liz,
hey.
Guys, I'm so proud of you. By the way, I'm so proud of you both. Like, I love that you've really have joined forces and put this together and doing such amazing interviews. And no, it's really great. And
thank you.
Just know that. Like, I'm
All
here
started from
I'm here to support in any way that I can.
Yes.
Yeah.
Well, thank you. And we're growing. As you can see, like, here's the thing about relationships and anything that you start, right? You started out and you're trying to figure it out, and then you start getting into a groove, and then you go through ups and downs, and this is a relationship. This is a partnership.
Partnership. Yeah. Close fist.
See? Okay.
Yeah. I'm not
Liz,
interlocking my
again,
fingers.
thank you very much. We love you.
Oh man, thank you guys for inviting
Nothing
me.
but love for you.
Yeah.
fuzzyandq@gmail.com. That's for just emails.
Sponsorship. But listen, thanks to everybody who's hitting us up on our YouTube page.
Yes.
Tell a friend. Make sure you click subscribe to our YouTube page. Comment, watch the whole episode.
Yeah.
We love it.
Liz, they can find you wordaful.com in any other place?
Yeah, you can go to my Instagram. I've cleverly hit it under Liz Hernandez. Or you can just go Wordaful. It's everything. Facebook, Twitter, Instagram, WORDAFUL.
And sign up. She has a inspirational email she sends out weekly.
Every Monday.
Every Monday, exactly.
Yeah, just go to thewordaful.com and you just...
Let's give it up for Liz Hernandez one
Oh,
more time.
I shouldn't say that. Just sorry.
It's okay.
Yeah, it's evergreen.
Come
Don't
on.
worry
Just,
about it.
it's out. It's out now. It's out now. Just go to the website. Please.
Yeah.
Please.